How can you win against thieves in Guild Wars 2? This is a very common question a lot of new players, but even veterans ask a lot of times in my stream, just in general, how can you deal with thieves? They are really annoying to fight in all competitive modes in Guild Wars 2. So in this video I want to cover the basics and some advanced tips how to deal with them so that you are able to win against all of them. Be sure to watch the whole video to not miss out an important tip. As always, special shout out to all my supporters that help me keep the lights on. Now without much further ado, let's jump straight in. Thieves are typically, it doesn't matter which elite spec you're looking at, most of them, Daredevil, Deadeye, even Spectre, has a very similar playstyle. So they always want to be engaging, doing some damage, and then using their mobility to either disengage, or if the fight is won, they don't need to disengage anymore. So it's always like if they do the decision and think, okay, I can win this matchup, I engage, might kill the enemy, and then I go to another fight. So that works in PvP as well as in roaming, or even sometimes in Circ play. They really want to focus a target, kill it. If they can't kill it, they disengage again. They use their superior mobility and evasiveness to actually succeed in doing that. Not a lot of classes can actually follow up on that, so they're actually quite safe. So how can you punish them? So before I get to my first tip, I want to mention I have other how to counter X classes videos. Be sure to check out the link in the description to the playlist there. And if you like this one, be sure to leave a like, because then I will do more of those depending on which class you actually struggle to fight against. But now let's start with the first tip. I mentioned they will typically engage and then disengage if they can't kill you. So how can you make this disengaging for them very difficult? You can do that by actually applying a lot of counter burst. So if they burst you with either being a condition build and burst you with conditions, or being a power build and spike you with a big attack, you can counter burst them. So if you manage to deal damage to them, they go into, so to say, this mindset of being, oh, I'm pressured. So what the thief then does is either going into, oh, panic mode, I have to disengage again, or you can even kill them because they don't disengage it is fast enough. So if you land a big burst when they engage on you, they might actually be so panicked that you can actually kill them, or they have to leave again. So this is the first, so to say, aggressive action that you can do, is counter pressuring them. Even though you might be pressured as well, if you play aggressive enough, you might kill them or force them to disengage, and you will not receive as much pressure after that anymore. So hope that makes sense. The same goes, of course, if you're playing a condi build, you can also overload them with conditions, because thieves typically struggle a bit with cleansing 10 conditions at once. So if you can really burst them with a lot of conditions, and spike them with multiple ones, even if you're not playing a condi build, sometimes conditions like weakness are very, very potent as well, because they decrease the damage drastically. But of course, other conditions as well, like immobilize, cripple, chill, all those not damaging conditions can still be worthwhile. But of course, if you're condi build, putting a lot of condi pressure on them is also very scary for them, because they will not deal as much damage anymore when they focus on defensive tools like condi cleanses and just getting away from you. So keep that in mind. Always counter bursting is the most defensive tool that you have in your kit, so to say. Yes, it sounds weird, but that's actually the best thing to do against a thief. Another thing that works very well is CC. So if you can CC them when they engage you, so maybe they come out of stealth, yes, but as soon as they attack you, they de-stealth, they reveal themselves. So if you can CC them after that, they have either to use their stun breaks, or they are very open for attacks for you. So if you CC them and you can negate their attacks by CCing them and pressuring them because they are CC'd, or forcing them to use a stun break to disengage or to just deal more damage again, then you also won. So keep that in mind. If you can layer your CC quite nicely, you can also force a stun break and then get another stun off, and they don't have a stun break anymore and you might kill them. So CC is really important. Yes, they might be evasive, sometimes it's hard to land CC, but stuff like, for example, Shocking Aura is amazing, because they get stunned always when they attack you if they don't have stability. So they will get punished if they attack you. And of course, if you have a CC that is like an AoE that they can avoid, that's harder to hit. But if you are, so to say, surrounded by something that stuns them as soon as they actually get to hit you, then that's the problem for them. So keep that in mind. By the way, if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. But now let's talk about the next very important tip. I talked about undodgeable CC like Shocking Aura, but there are also others that are really important. For example, there are Static Field on Elementalist, or other attacks that, so to say, create an area that is, so to say, CCing them. Staff, the Line of Warding on Guardian, and those attacks, they will typically not run those two that I mentioned here, but there are other attacks as well in a roaming build. So if you're in a group, sometimes those can be really strong as well. Keep that in mind. In PvP, for example, if you're a Tempest healer and you have a thief that is on you, if you use the static field, that's a really nasty skill because they will get stunned if they want to follow you, if they don't have stability. Stuff like that is not dodgeable. Keep that in mind. That's the cool part. If they are evading and are evading through static field or the line of warding CC, they will still get CC'd. It's not possible to evade this attack if you don't have stability. Another very important tip, probably one of the most important ones that I mentioned in this video here, is no pot spots. No pot spots in PvP and World vs. World are amazing against thieves. A lot of thieves are melee focused, so they want to pot on you, either with the steal or with some kind of teleport, maybe sword 2 or something like that. And you can avoid this, you can negate this teleport by standing on a no pot spot. So it's a spot where there is no line of sight, so to say, for the teleport. Yeah, and they are not possible to teleport there. And then you can range them down, or they have to switch to a ranged attack, which is not always more damage than the melee attack. So keep that in mind, that can be really, really helpful. And the same goes, of course, against ranged thieves. Ranged thieves don't want necessarily to pot to you, but if they want to shoot from range and you are standing on a no pot spot and have, for example, magnetic aura up or something that reflects, they can't deal any damage to you. That's the cool part. Only if they have unblockable up, but that's very rare for a thief. So keep that in mind. Thieves are really easy to deal with if you stand on no port spots and or can use reflex against, for example, Deadeye. It's amazing. A rival Deadeye gets completely shut down by reflex. So if you can keep up some reflex and just deflects maybe as well, just some projectile destruction is good enough for the most part, that's amazing. Really, really amazing. Another thing that I want to mention here is dodge the steal. Yes, that sounds weird, because it's an instant cast teleport or whatever thief elite spec you have, it's an instant cast attack for most of them. And that means that it's actually hard to dodge, but thieves are very easy to read if you played against a lot of them, because they get in a certain range and then they steal because they want to get close to you. So if you predict their steal and dodge, so to say, in nothing, they will most often steal into your dodge, and therefore the steal doesn't get the value of the steal proc and that kind of stuff. It will just be the teleport. If you know and played against a lot of thieves, that can be an amazing tool to actually outplay them. Keep that in mind, it's really crazy. If you're a good player and played a lot against thieves, you actually can dodge so many steals just by reading, so to say, the movement pattern of thieves. It's amazing. It shuts down a lot of their aggressiveness. Another thing that is really important is reveal. Thieves reveal themselves when they use a stealth attack, or when they just use any attack out of stealth, they will remove their stealth and get revealed so they can't stealth again. But there are some attacks like Engineer has access to, Revenant has access to, but all classes, most of them actually have access to, are reveal skills. So that they can't stealth, even if they wanted to, they can't stealth. With some exceptions, but yes, they can't do that. That can be really, really good if they just want to stealth to disengage and you reveal them. They can't stealth, they're easy to track and easier to catch. So really, really important, if you have a skill like that, use it in the right circumstance and you will shut them down. Another important tip that is working to some extent very well against thieves, depends a bit on the build that they are playing, is line of sight. So if you can line of sight, that's a very important tip for all classes to counter them, but against thieves it's very important as well, because they don't have typically that much AoE, and if they have AoE it's quite small. So line of sight means you stand behind a wall, behind a rock or whatever, and you can use AoE attacks to cleave them down while they are standing next to the wall, something, or behind the wall even, and you can still hit them. Some classes can do that really well, Reaper for example, and Holosmith or something like that. Thieves have big problems dealing with that. So if you can stand next to a wall, on a wall, to get to no pause spots, stuff like that, and you can cleave them down, it's very easy to deal with them, because they might have way harder time to actually hit their stealth attack if you are behind a wall, or shoot you with a rival, for example, as a Deadeye. So line of sight, using it correctly, especially in conjunction with no port spots, is amazing to deal with them. And that's the last tip that I had. Let me know any questions in the comments down below, and of course, if you have any other tips and any other comments, please let me know as well, so that we can help our friends that actually struggle to deal with thieves. And I hope this video was helpful for you. If it was, be sure to leave a like. If you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. Be sure to check out this guide if you want to know how to deal with mesmers. Thanks as always to all my supporters. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all in the next video.